Alright, so we're going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Woo! Yay! Because we love Jesus. Alright, so I'm going to give you all a second to get there. And then we'll be reading verses 8 and 9. So, when everybody is ready. Cool. So, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 and 9. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in any despair. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Struck down, but not destroyed. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be about one of the devil's greatest gifts. So, I've got a story that we're going to start it all off with. A man goes to a garage sale hosted by the devil. And so the devil's got all these great things there, all these nice, pretty, shiny things. Not things you would typically see in a garage sale. He's got murder off the side, it's all nice, sparkly, shiny. He's got adultery, lust, lying, gossip, all these like everyday sins that, or not so everyday sins, that he's got all polished up looking, all nice and pretty. And so over off in the corner, so if you imagine like in the back of the garage in this dusty old corner, he's got this one pot that looks like garbage and it's all dusty and dirty, and so the man thinks, hey, I'm gonna go look at this because it looks like crap, so it's probably gonna be less expensive than everything else here. And so when he gets there, the item is 4 times the price of anything else in the garage sale. And so the dude's like, whoa, what's up, Mr. Lucifer Devil Guy? He's like, what's with this? This looks like garbage, but it's super duper expensive. And the devil says, I put this one off to the side. I keep it away from everybody, make it look bad, because it's my most valuable tool I use against everybody in the world. And that is disappointment, discouragement, and all the things that bring us down. He said, because I may not be able to get somebody with lying. I may not be able to get somebody to gossip, but I can always discourage anybody. There is nobody safe from discouragement. So it is my greatest tool used. And so when Paul wrote the letter to Corinth, which is what the books of Corinthians are, he had every reason to be discouraged. Paul had been thrown in prison, he had been beaten, ridiculed for his faith, thrown out of cities for his faith. He was a Roman citizen and he's been thrown in jail. Put it in perspective, being a Roman citizen is like being a U.S. citizen. You're probably one of the greatest people in the world. And it's like, wow, you're great, you have all these great rights. But with Paul being a Christian, they didn't care, so they threw him in jail anyway. So Paul had every reason to be discouraged when he was writing this. So I'm coming to talk to you about why we should not be discouraged. And so we have relationships, like in this room, everybody has a relationship that might not be on the right path. Like Tomas talked about 2 weeks ago, or Destiny talked about 2 weeks ago. Our plan's here, God's plan's here, and we want God's plan to come to our plan, and we don't want to go to God's plan, right? So, and some of us don't even know Jesus at all. Some of us know Jesus, some of us don't. Us who want Jesus' plan to be our plan, that's not how it works. So, sorry, I've not done this before. So, we all get discouraged a lot. We could get discouraged in a lot of things. Sam, you play soccer, right?
Yes.
Would you have been like super discouraged if you didn't make the team this year?
Yes.
My sister plays softball. If she didn't get a chance to be like playing softball for high school, she'd probably be super duper discouraged. I know me and Victoria doing band, we would have been super discouraged if we didn't make the block for UIL. We would have been like, what? So, like, everybody gets discouraged at least one point in their life. And so, using Paul, for example, he had every reason to be discouraged. But he never lost sight of what he was supposed to be doing. His faith never wavered. He stayed strong in his faith through everything he was put through because he knew God had a greater plan for him. Being a Christian is not for a bunch of sissies. This is going to sound really bad. Being a Christian is not for the weak-hearted, the weak-minded, or if you're scared to go get in front of people and talk. Being a Christian, it's a hard life. It says it in the Bible, that this is not going to be an easy walk. This is going to challenge you. It's going to be the hardest part of your life, is being a strong Christian and keeping strong in your faith. That's the hardest part of our job as Christians, is to stay strong in our faith. It's not going to be easy. We're going to be ridiculed, prosecuted, made fun of, especially in high school. I know when we did see you at the poll, we probably got a lot of funny looks from all the people showing up, because they're like, they're the Jesus people. They're those people. They're the super Christians. So our walk with Christ is not going to be easy, but it's totally worth it, because the rewards that we're going to get after this life, our temporary home on this world, are way greater than any riches we will ever have on this planet. So I had Tomas sing the song We Fall Down, because with discouragement, when we get discouraged, we don't necessarily always want to go to God. We want to keep it to ourselves, and we want to try to figure out how to deal with it on our own. The thing with Chase is actually a blessing, because it gives me something to talk about. Chase has every reason to be discouraged right now. He's just lost his mom. Like, he's 15, 16 years old, a sophomore in high school, and he's lost his mom. Probably one of the greatest role models in his life. He has every reason to be discouraged. But we have to be strong for Chase, and we have to remind Chase of his faith and his belief in Christ, that everything's going to be okay, that God's done this for a reason, and that he should not get discouraged through this, but instead rejoice, because his mom is in a better place now. His mom is no longer suffering or going through any of the worldly pain she was going through. She's now in a greater place with a greater person. So Chase has every reason to be discouraged, but he should not be, because he has to think of the positive aspect of things. I've had reasons to be discouraged in my life. I'll talk about one of the hardest parts of my life that I've ever gone through. Starting in middle school, I went through a 3-year depression. I was bullied for being different. I moved to Crosby in the 5th grade from LaPorte, so when I moved here at the beginning of 5th grade, I knew nobody. I looked funny, I had long hair, like I had a mullet, and it was bad, glasses.
Except it wasn't a mullet, it was all over.
It was bad. So, starting in middle school, I was bullied and made fun of and all this stuff. So, like, I became depressed, because it was like, wow, nobody likes me. And so, I probably went about this the wrong way, but I started doing things I should not have done. I started taking bunches of pills, of pain pills, antidepressants, and all this stuff to maybe make the pain go away, make all those thoughts go away, like, hey, nobody likes you, make those thoughts go away. And it didn't work. If anything, it screwed up my body. And so that went all the way through, like, my freshman year. And I still suffer with depression now. I take medicine for it and all this fun stuff. But I deal with it every day, because I have my eye on the greater prize that's waiting for me later. I had every reason to be discouraged, to lose faith, and if you talk to Tomas, I did. I completely shut God out middle school. I was just like, you've screwed me over. I'm done with you for right now. Like, I completely shut him out 7th and 8th grade. And I turned into a really, really bad kid. But through all that discouragement, I learned, when I really thought about it, it was like, yes, you're discouraged, but you have to lay everything down at the feet of Jesus Christ. You have to give him everything, all your burdens, all the burdens that you've been carrying for so long, you have to lay it down at the feet of Jesus, because he is the only one who can carry all of our burdens and make us 100% okay. That's why he died on the cross for us. When he died on the cross, he took the sins of everybody in the world on his back. With the way he was laid, he was nailed to the cross with his arms open. His arms stay open. It doesn't matter how far away you go from him, with me shutting him out for 2 years. It doesn't matter how far away you go from him. His arms are always going to be open, and he will always bring you back. He will always take you back, no matter what wrong you've done, no matter how many bad things you've done. You can be a murderer, a rapist, but he will always have his arms open for you. You will always be able to come back to him, no matter what you've done. His arms stay open. People have reasons to be discouraged. It happens. One day, we're not going to make the team or get into the college we want. It's going to happen. We're going to get discouraged. But you have to realize that God has a greater plan for you than the plan that you wanted for you. You might not get into that college that you wanted, that Ivy League school or whatever, that you got accepted to, like TCU or HBU or DBU. You got accepted into a Christian college. That was God. God's got a plan for you. He wants you to go to this school because he's got something greater planned for you that you have no idea about. God's got everything planned out from the day Adam and Eve were poof to the day we're all gonna bite the dust, and the day the world's gonna bite the dust. He has everything planned out. That's who he is. He knows everything. So he has a greater plan for you than you might not realize. And some of y'all might be following the plan that he has for you, and that's great. And some of you might be following your own plan, and that's cool too. But eventually, if you stay strong in your faith, you're going to end up on God's plan. Whether you want to or not, it's going to happen. Because God's looking out for each and every one of us in this room. So, Paul had every reason to be discouraged. I had every reason to be discouraged, and I was. Chase right now has every reason to be discouraged. But the thing that Paul did and that I did is we laid it down at the feet of Jesus, and we prayed to him, and we were like, okay, I'm going through some stuff, and I'm going to lay it all down at your feet, and I need you to help me get through this. I need you to take all these burdens I'm struggling with and just take them. I'm not going to hold anything back from you. I'm giving you my entire self. I am yours. Do with me as you wish. So, Satan discourages us every day, whether it be small things like a bad test grade, like simple things like that discourage us every day. But we have to stay strong in our faith, and we have to remember that despite all the bad things we go through, there really is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So now I'm going to open this time for prayer requests. And then we're going to pray. So, if anybody has any prayer requests.
Actually, make an executive prayer so I can see what's going on with the courts here. We are going to do prayer requests, and we're going to pray as a group, but also I want to encourage you guys, after we do group prayer, we're just going to have a little bit of time for everyone to take a little bit and just kind of pray by themselves. I think spending time alone with God is also very important. And so I think after, God speaking through Corey, which was an awesome message, I think it gives us all something to think about. And so I just think that at this moment, after we do group prayer requests, I do think that we should all just take a little bit to pray, solo, and then I'll close this out. So,
Prayer requests. Anybody?
Our coach's brother is in a coma, so just pray for her family.
Okay. Which coach?
Coach Thomas.
Okay. Anybody else? I know I've got two praises. This past week, my uncle had brain surgery on a tumor growth that he's been dealing with. This is like his third surgery he's had in the past 7 years. They found another growth, and so they removed it, and everything went as planned. So he's doing fine now. He's staying in the Houston area, so he's right by the hospital if he needs anything. And then the second praise is my grandfather recently had hip surgery, and everything went as planned. Everything's okay. Well, everything went as planned, and he's doing fine now. He's started rehab, and so everything's doing great. So I know I have to praise us for that.
For my grandmother and my mother's, as they just finished their breast cancer, like their treatment.
Yeah, we'll keep them in our prayers. So, anybody, what's up?
My church is just going through a really hard time right now, and so just prayer over everybody handling different situations.
So,
Oh, it's praise, Charles, he's back at, South Bay for a while.
so Charles, the church, Coach's brother, and then family. Okay, so bow your heads, and then we'll pray as a group, and then keep your heads bowed after I finish, and pray individually. Because that's the key to our relationship. Paul had a lot of time to pray by himself with God. He had a lot of one-on-one time. And that's key to keeping a strong faith. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for everything you've done for us. I want to lift up all these prayer requests that have been mentioned, Victorious Church and all the hard times and the things that they're going through. I want to lift up our coach's brother who's in the coma. Only you can get him out of that. And through your hand, he will get out of that. I want to pray for family, all the things that we've been going through, whether it be breast cancer, brain surgery, knee replacement, or any other family issues that have not been brought to our attention. I want to pray for all of those. I want to also pray for Charles, the man at our church who had a complete 180 life turnaround because of you. I want to pray that you put your healing hands on all of these prayer requests that have been brought to you. I want to pray that we have a great rest of the week, that we have a great Sunday, we have a great rest of the year, professing our faith for you through our actions and through our words. I pray all these things in your Son's heavenly name. Amen.
So at this time, we're gonna go into a time of individual prayer, where you guys can just talk to God, just let him know what's up. For me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see, and this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the seas. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you. It is well. It is well. Let go my soul and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. And let it go my soul and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. It is well with my soul. It is well with well, it is well with my soul, and it is well, it is well with my soul. Father, we just come to you right now. We thank you so much for everything that you are. Father, we thank you for using Corey to just speak through him today, God, to deliver your message to us and to tell us what it is that you needed us to hear. Lord, we pray for anybody in this room facing encouragement. We pray for everybody who will eventually face encouragement, God. We just pray that you would carry us through that, that you would hold us tight, and that we would remember that there is nothing in all of creation that can separate us from you. Lord, we love you so much. All these things